Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Friday evening to you all. Happy end of the work week. You can look forward to the weekend of, sadly, Spurs playing football. But no, look, we're going to be talking a little bit about really this January transfer window because we're in for a very interesting time at the moment, Spurs. I think the season started so strong. You know, there was all this talk about investment, all this talk about quality coming in, and I said sort of the squad feels probably as weak as it's probably has been, and whatever you think about Brennan Johnson, you're selling in theory one of your top goal scorers over the last few years. So what do you do now that he's gone? So we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about Savinho. We're gonna be talking about Diomande from Leipzig. We're gonna be talking about Takai moving. You know, a summer transfer window player signing and already gone. Haven't seen him, but he's gone. Talking about Jamie Donley's next move, Manor Solomon's. There's plenty of stuff to get into, but let's talk Brennan Johnson quickly. So the deal is done. He is signed. He is a Crystal Palace player, moving for about 33.5 million. I think it's obviously a good move for Palace. It's a good move for Jono. I think he'll do well there. I don't foresee it, being a bad move for him. But and last but not least, all the power in the world to Jono. I hope he does really well. I really do. Okay, maybe it hasn't truly ever worked for Spurs, but when it did work, European champions is what happened. So where did Spurs go from here? Obviously in the summer we were heavily linked to Savinho from Man City, and obviously Savinho signed the new contract in the summer. I think that was mostly because they said they didn't want him to leave, but if you don't leave, we'll give you a bit of a pay bump. And I think that's probably what happened, if I'm honest. Looking at that situation, I 100% expect to see Spurs go back in for Savinho, because when I look at Savinho's stats for the season, and this is just the amount of games played and things like that. I mean, this season he's played 23 times, right? So you're thinking, God, he's a big player at Man City. He plays a lot of football. I mean, he's played 23 times, but he hasn't even got 1,000 minutes. He's played 15 times in the Premier League and he's got 468 minutes. So, you compare that, just the Premier League football, so 13 games for 467 minutes. You compare it to last season, and in 29 games, he had 1,772. So you're talking about in basically double the amount of games, he's got quadruple the amount of minutes. And I think that shows you that, yes, okay, he's been featuring, but he's not one of the main guys. Cherky's been really good. Foden's obviously had a turnaround in form. Doku is, maybe their best one-on-one winger, but you still got Oscar Bob, and he might be off to Dortmund. So I think really from here, could Spurs get him? I mean, we were talking about 70-odd million in the summer, weren't we? And I don't see how his value has continued at that level. Obviously, it's what Man City value him. It's what Spurs are willing to pay for him. But in reality, I just cannot see 70 million being a thing. I think Spurs obviously have the money to spend. That's not the concern. They definitely could spend the money on Savinho. And I've always said we do kind of need to get away from these loan obligation to buys and screwing up other windows because we don't spend money there and then. But we also need to be aware, and this is not a dig at this player, we cannot have a January transfer window where our attacking signing is a Timo Werner level of player. I was excited to see Timo Werner play. I was excited. I thought he had the ability to be good for us, but obviously wasn't to be the case. But we can't have that. We can't have, towards the bottom of the barrel signings. We need big signings. I think watching Kudus yesterday, the guy looks tired. The guy looks like he needs a week or two off. And unfortunately, because he's the only real consistent attacking player, he's not going to. I mean, the game, I'm not going to go into it yesterday, but the game was just abysmal. It's an awful game of football to watch. And in reality, we can't have that again. So, what do we go from there? I mean, so you have Savinho. I mean, the chatter around Diomande is that, yes, we're expected to bring in a replacement, and Savinho and Diomande are part of that list. And Diomande, is another exciting player. Let me get up his stats for the season. Another exciting player, 19 years old. We know Johan Lang likes a younger player. We say nothing. We say nothing. But I mean, this season in the league, he's got 14 games played, 6 goals, 3 assists. I mean, 9 goal contributions in the Bundesliga as a 19-year-old. It is mightily impressive. I mean, across all competitions, 16 games, 7 goals, 4 assists. I mean, 11 goal contributions, 16 at the age of 19 is remarkable. Definitely really rate Diamande. I think he'd be a great player, but I think there's also a conversation to be had around what's the situation with Tell. Is Tell going out on loan? Odegaard, all these things being in play. I do think you've got to be careful with this move. This move has to be a really good move. This attacking move, it has to be a good move. If it's not, I think you're in for a really raucous response and not a good kind. I don't know. January feel. I don't know. I just don't. I don't go into January with a ton of optimism. We can give these attacking players to this regime, and I just do not see them flourishing. Unfortunately, I know we're hanging our hats on the idea that Solanke is going to come back and be great, but Colomwani struggled. Richarlison statistically looked really good, but actually when you watch Richie play, struggling. Kudus looks knackered. Odegaard shows flashes and then doesn't show much else. Tell just doesn't get a chance. Simple as that. You're really looking at it going, what attacker other than Kudus has shown any level of true quality over at least a few games? The answer is none of them. I know we got excited about a cameo off the bench for Odegaard, but nothing. And I think, the midfield is a key problem. A key problem. I mean, there's talk that Bergval's out for this weekend, or he's a doubt for this weekend. Yeah, but it doesn't matter when you're playing 3 number 6s. You're playing Bentancur, Paulinho, and Gray. It was never going to work. The Bentancur and Paulinho combo does not work unless you're playing a team that's going to really try and pin you back. Then it works. It doesn't work when you actually need to progress the ball. We had no creativity in Kudus and Odegaard, and obviously Richarlison are running graveyard shifts, just trying to beat 3 or 4 guys because the ball is not getting to them quickly enough. That I mean, Spence, he had the opportunity to play Odegaard through 1-on-1 with a guy and chose to muck up a pass and send Archie Gray wide. And it's like, it's those things as well. I think we're lacking quality from the fullbacks. I think, look, we're a much better side when Desi Adoghi's playing. I completely think that. And I think Desi's a fantastic left back in my opinion. But obviously, hanging your hat on Desi Adoghi staying fit is genuinely moronic. It's like sticking a fork into a live plug socket. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't hang your hat on it. It's not going to happen. Just be happy when he is fit. So there's that. On Takai. Takai's gone to Borussia Mochengladbach on loan until the end of the season. Look, he's not played, and that's all I can really say. God, that's depressing. I hope the best for him. I mean, I don't really have any emotional feeling towards this deal because I haven't seen him play. I completely forgot he was at our club until a few days ago. I hope the deal goes well. I hope he follows the Vuskovic model of the loan move being a very good move because Vuskovic is having a good loan spell in Germany. That's all I can really say about it. Jamie Donley, he's gone out on loan now to Oxford. So Spurs recalled him from Stoke. He's gone out to Oxford. He's joining Will Lancashire out for Oxford. Just having a quick look. Just want to bring up the Championship table. Here we go. Championship table. Let me have a look at where Oxford are. So Oxford are second bottom at the moment. I mean, they're 3 points off being out of the relegation zone with a better goal difference than the team that's first out. So, there's nothing to panic about. A good week would have them, probably about 7 places higher up the league. But if he's going to get regular minutes, that's the important thing. I think the Stoke move on paper looked good. It started well with some assists and things like that, but it hasn't worked. And we have a lot of these. I actually tweeted about it. A lot of our loan moves don't work because I think we don't expect the team to be as good as they're going to be. Dane Scarlett with Ipswich Town when they first came up to the Premier League. That was it, wasn't it? We expect he's going to go there, he's going to get some minutes. And he played 181 minutes in 6 months of football, or however many months it was. So I think in particular, hopefully this is a move that's worked. It looks like Lancashire is getting a few minutes at the moment, which is good. Hopefully that is a trajectory that we're going to continue on. But yes, I think let's hope for good moments for Jamie Donley. Hasn't had a great season so far. Hopefully he gets knuckled down, kick on, and do very well because, well, hopefully we get something positive out of this season. And it might be some of the lone guys are going to come back and they're going to be good because, good Lord, the first team isn't very fun to watch at the moment. I don't think anyone's truly enjoying it. Yeah, the least is said about it, the better. You probably in your own time speak about it enough. I'm not going to go into it, all right? But look, thank you very much for watching. Please look after yourselves. Please enjoy your Friday evenings, your weekends, whatever it is that you're doing. Look after yourself. And I'll be back soon to talk a lot more about Tottenham. Take care. Peace.